Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerds New Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, aka the one who flew too close to the sun, with my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Pumpkin Seed.
I should have took that. And we're back with another episode. And yeah, we're just gonna jump into it. For those that checked in for us last week and didn't see us last week, we decided to take the week off. That's all. Like, we get a what?
It was Halloween, man.
It was Halloween. Yeah, you get pay time off every now and then. So yeah, we took Halloween for pay time off or PTO.
That's
or
like
whatever.
my Christmas. I was doing shit.
Right. So you went out. I just decided to actually just take the day off and I had like a bunch of this to do. You know what's funny, Eli? I still didn't go to bed till like 3:00 in the morning that night because I was doing other shit. I was like, well, since we're not recording a podcast, let me get some other shit done. And I still got time to do that. So either way, now we're back recording, not beefing. We're going at it. And for those that are looking at what we're going on right now, yes, this episode is going to be Eternal centric. I'm going to do two things. One thing I'm going to do is review the movie. Because like I said, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the movie. We're going to talk about that, what's going on. And I'm going to compare what's going on for the movie to the comics. Because I know nobody's read the Eternal comics. And Eli, I tried to like flex my nerd boner on you the other day. Pause. But still, I read every Eternal comics ever. Turns out I didn't. I thought I did. But it turns out there's like because I started going down a rabbit hole. And when I thought I read this book, then they started referring to other stuff that happened, like a Thor comic back in the 70s. I'm like, why did I read that shit? And they were like in 30 straight issues. I'm like, what the hell? In a Thor comic. So yeah.
So you didn't have a boner.
Yeah, I didn't have a boner.
Nerd limp. You went nerd limp.
Yeah, nerd gummy worm.
Yeah, nerd soft.
Right. People out there say it's you baited. Yes. 616 man. I don't know if you see the title of the podcast. That's the title of the podcast. Marvel made a DC movie.
You mean it's all dark and shit, and you can't see everything? Every punch is in slow motion.
No, they didn't. They didn't go full. You never go full Snyder. You never go full Snyder. But yeah, let's just jump to the podcast. Like I said, no more shenanigans, no more tomfoolery. We're just gonna jump into it and just see what this, see what it gave us. So Eli, hold up. I'm gonna set you up for it. Yeah, cool. All right, so Eli, give it to me. What is the number one movie of the week?
It's got to be a Disney movie.
I was gonna say I'll give you a hint. It's a Disney movie. So it is a Disney movie, and the top of the list is Eternals with a whopping 71 million. Eli, that 71 million is cool. Not top. I think Shang-Chi beat it. I think Fast and Furious beat it, and I think Venom definitely beat it. Venom still holds the record. Yeah, Venom holds that record. So it's actually the highest grossing weekend of any movie in the post-pandemic. Venom, that's the movie. Like crap. So pretty good for that one. Let's see. What do we got here? I read Neil Gaiman's Eternal Run and watched the motion comic of it as well. Yeah, 616 man. Yes, there's a lot of Neil Gaiman in this. Not as much as I thought, but there is some Neil Gaiman in this. But I'll talk about that also. What else we got? We got Doom. Doom still hanging in there. No Time to Die. For those that haven't seen No Time to Die, I'm hearing it goes for rent on VOD next week. Like I said, number 5, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And it just goes down here from there. The French Dispatch, Antlers, Last Night of Soho.
Antlers. I wanted to, I wanted to see Last Night in Soho until I found out what it was about. It's like Edgar Wright's new horror movie, but it's some weird ghost shit that I'm not into. And I'm like, I don't know.
It's not a movie I would go to the theaters to see. It's definitely a movie I would. Yeah, it's definitely a movie I would like. Okay, it's on VOD. Let me watch this. I'll do that. Yeah. But going to the theaters to see it, nah.
I mean, Edgar Wright, he doesn't make any bad movies, so.
Right. So, all right. So let's just jump into it. Like I said, we're going to talk about Eternals. Some people have seen, like I said, 71 million. Some people have seen it. Some people haven't seen it.
Just like this podcast.
Just like the podcast. You know what? This podcast represents the internet. Like I said, it is divided also. I'm starting to see if I can pull up the Rotten Tomato score. Let me see. Right before let me see. We're going to do that. Oh, I messed it up. There we go. Did I do that right? I can't see that. I messed that up. Okay. So I'm gonna look up the Rotten Tomatoes score of Eternals. And right now, like I said, for those that haven't been paying attention, it actually has the lowest score of any MCU movie ever. All of them. Hulk, Thor: The Dark World, Captain Marvel, whatever you got, it's the lowest one of all time. It is at 48%. It is the only rotten MCU movie ever. So if you go by Rotten Tomatoes, it is the worst Marvel movie ever made. It's like it's fan-forstic than this, you know. But there's more. Edgar Wright hasn't been the same since Scott Pilgrim. I disagree with that 616 man. Baby Driver was fucking awesome. Yeah, especially the first intro of that. That intro is like one of the best intros of any movie ever. I mean, the movie does kind of go down after
At World's End. Yeah, I mean,
he's still there.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's you know, they're not great, but they're fine.
He's still in the conversation. He's still in the conversation. I give him that. So, but wait, the good news about it, like I said, now that the fans have actually seen the movie, the audience score, actually the audience score of Eternals is 81%. So it's like flip flop, like who's somebody's lying. Basically.
It's the Last Jedi.
It's the Last Jedi all over again. Like but that was like the flip flop of that, you know. So the thing, and a lot of people are saying that the critics are review bombing it because there's homosexual scenes in it because of diversity and pandering. Critics aren't doing that. Those are assholes on YouTube, not us assholes on YouTube. Other assholes on YouTube doing that. As far as like critics, they're not gonna bomb a movie because of politics and it's woke, and they're not gonna do that. They're actually going to knock the movie because whatever. Like I said, I am not a critic. All I'm gonna do is just give my opinion of what I thought about the movie. But before we do that, let's actually talk about the comic. What is the Eternals? What are the Eternals? What are the Eternals about? So, give you a brief example of what Jack Kirby. Like I said, they were created by Jack Kirby. If you listen to the podcast, you know who Jack Kirby is. If you don't listen to the podcast, I'll give you a quick glimpse of it. You got Stan Lee. Jack Kirby's here. That's who Jack Kirby is. So he made a whole everybody that you like. He made them.
Stan Lee wrote it. Jack Kirby draws this shit.
Right. And in some situations, some people say Jack Kirby actually wrote it also. Let him tell it, but
he defined all the superheroes.
Right. Like all your favorite ones. Yeah. X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther. He did all of them, even when jumped over to DC and did New Gods and Darkseid and all the stuff like that, which is where you get the Eternals from, because in the middle of him doing New Gods, DC canceled it. So he was like, well, fuck, I ain't got no job. Let's go over to Marvel, and went over to Marvel, and he basically kind of made the same thing of what he made with DC. He made the New Gods, So that's why a lot of times people compare the Eternals to the New Gods. What do we got here? I saw critics say too much sci-fi. It's too much. How can you have too much sci-fi thought-provoking? Rather the typical Marvel formula. I thought they wanted something different-ish. Yeah, and I will get to that also. I'll get to that also. That is something to talk about in the movie also. But going back to that, like I said, we got DC, we got the New Gods. And that's why, and a lot of times people thinking that this movie was only green light because DC green lit the New Gods. So Marvel's like, let's have something to compete with that. Turns out they canceled New Gods because that's what DC do. They announced movies and cancel it. So they went ahead with Eternals also. Now, here's the thing. People know about the movie was inspired by Jack Kirby, but what inspired Jack Kirby to make the New Gods? Eli, have you ever heard of Chariot of the Gods?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've heard of Chariot of the Gods. We know what it is. For people that haven't heard of Chariot of the Gods, it's actually a novel that was written back in the 60s, not fiction. It was actually like a document theory about proving.
Joseph Campbell's, right?
No, I don't think it was Joseph Campbell. It was some German guy.
Oh, okay.
But he probably read from that and took from there. But mainly what it's about is that people really believe that aliens came to Earth like back centuries ago and helped civilizations grow, like the pyramids, like the Incan and the Mayan temples. And,
okay. I get.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the ancient aliens. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, that thing. So that all came from Chariots of the Gods. That's all. Love Ancient Alien Theory. Yeah, so Jack Kirby read that book and got inspired to make that. And he actually makes a lot of reference to that book in the original Eternals comics. Chariots of the Gods are true. All the characters say that stuff, So basically what it's boiled down to, the space, the comic is actually like really kind of religious. That's almost what Jack Kirby was trying to do. He was trying to like build his own mythology, build his own religion, whatever you want to call it. It's all about how the space gods created us. It pretty much has the birth of creation in there. Has pretty much the end of civilization in there. It explains about. I I'll talk about more about that also. But first, let's talk about the character. Like I said, who are the Eternals?
The Aztecs came from Mars and shit.
Aztecs came from Mars because they're too primitive to build this stuff on their own. You know, the Sphinx, the African stuff like that, they're too stupid to do this stuff on their own. It had to be aliens. You know?
Man. They didn't know the world was flat 1,000 years before Europeans on their own.
Exactly. Never mind that, you learn the people that made up this stuff learn how to bathe from other countries, learn math and deodorant from other countries, But that's neither here nor there. We're getting off subject. Back to what we were talking about. So like I said, the reason he was going biblical with this because what the Eternals are, you got the Eternals and you got the Deviants. The space gods came down and they created both of them. And basically all of our myths and all our legends and all our religion came from them. The Eternals are the angels, the gods, warlocks, whatever you want to call it. The Deviants, demons, monsters, werewolves, Freddy Krueger, whatever you got. So that's where all that came from, according to Jack Kirby, and they instill our myths and we just interpret it differently. So would the Eternals go to different religions? Like say one might go to Africa and that's where you get like Shango or something like that, or one might go to Norway and that's where you get,
Thor.
The Norse gods from, stuff like that, Greek, same thing. So that's what they're saying.
No.
No is right. All right. So I'm gonna just break down some of the Eternals, like I said, because this movie, one of the criticisms people give about the movie that they crammed in a lot of characters. This is 10 characters introduced in this movie. And it's the heroes, not the villains, not the sidekicks, not the other people going on over. 10 heroes featured on here. And I'm gonna just break through one of them just quickly. Like I said, we got Gilgamesh. Now, in the comics, they call him the Forgotten One. He's not even named Gilgamesh until like 10 years later on after he was, and just what he looked like right there. Like I said, he is his power, and that's the thing about the Eternals, they all have different powers. He is the bruiser. He's the big bruiser. He is the strong one. He is the most powerful one. Sometimes he'll even fight the other Eternals just because he gets bored, Like I said, he was in some Thor comics, stuff like that. But otherwise in the movie, he's pretty much what you expect. Fastos. People are getting controversial about Fastos. So Fastos is in the comics also, not a Jack Kirby creation. He actually came a little bit later on. Like I said, he's not Paperboy. He's some big, beefy, roided out wrestler looking dude in the comics. But they have similarities. They're both the IT tech guy. Why does the IT tech guy have like muscle on top of muscles? I don't know.
And I would think he ran. I think he would be like the speedster because of his name, but I guess not.
Well, no. Well, see, that's the thing, because all of them are based on like Greek myths. So Fastos is like Hephaestus, the god of technology in Greek myths. So it all connects together. Yeah, it all connects together. Who else we got? We got Ajax. Ajax is a big change because Ajax in the comics is
a dude.
A dude. I'm trying to find it. Can't find it. Fuck, can't find it. Anyway, Ajax is a dude. So, but the thing is that Ajax in the comics and Ajax in the movie have the same powers. Their power is they talk to the gods. Boom, that's what it look like. Weird ass costumes like that. They're the only ones that can talk to the gods. And that's it. And I also liked it that they actually still had, somebody of Hispanic origin to play Ajax, because in the comics, Ajax was an Incan god, or considered an Incan god, worshipped as the Incan god. So,
okay.
So I would have felt weird if they got like a white guy to do that, but whatever. So at least they got that much right. What else we got here? Druid. Now,
that dude.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's in some kind of movie or another movie.
I've seen him around.
Yeah, people. I guess he's got one of those faces, I guess. But anyway, so Druid. Now, Druid in the comic, like I said, we know about Icarus. Druid is Icarus' cousin in the comics.
Is that Cyclops in the new X-Men movies?
No. That's another guy. You're getting you guys confused. They look similar alike, but yeah. So, but Druid, like I said, is most of the time he's a bad guy. He's one of the villains of the Eternals. Because like I said, they got good Eternals, bad Eternals. Some of them just do wild shit just because they just feel like it. But in this one, he's an asshole, but not a bad guy. Pretty cool. What else we got here? We got Sprite. Sprite, for the most part, Sprite was a dude in the comics, or a little boy. Never ages, can't age. When Jack Kirby originally raised Sprite, he was just younger than the rest of them. But then Neil Gaiman took over the book and basically said that Sprite can't age, and Sprite turned on the team, and he was the villain of one of the Neil Gaiman books. But like I said, they changed it where Sprite is a girl now, and it actually does play into the storyline, making him a girl. So I'm not even tripping on that. Plus, they made him a girl in the comics now anyway. So there you go. It all comes full circle. Makari is one of the biggest changes in the comics because Makari was also a white dude. Speedster, boom, that's powers. Went from a white dude to a black deaf chick. So there you go. And
not my Eternals.
right. Not the ones I didn't read, and you got Icarus. What do you expect? Superman-y, strong, superpower, heat vision, the flying brick trope, what you
super
expect.
lips.
Right. All that. The ladies went crazy every time he showed up on screen, stuff like that. He's the white guy on the team, so everybody automatically assumes he's the hero.
So he's the star. He's the leader. Yeah.
He's not. That's the thing. He's not.
Oh, really? He's not.
Yeah, that's the thing about the movie that kind of got me go. But the thing is, some people on the team follow him automatically. Like when shit goes down, they just look at Icarus like, okay, Icarus, what do we do next? What the fuck y'all looking at me for? That's the leader.
You're the white guy.
You're the white guy. Of course we follow you. So I think the movie was.
Ain't you in charge?
Right. I think the movie was playing on that trope a lot of times, but I'm not going to go into it. But I did like how they went there with that. Kingo is another superficial change, but not a big change, because in the comics, Kingo is a ninja / samurai, but they still got one thing right, that they're both movie stars. Because Kingo was around in like ancient Japan with their samurais and stuff like that, so he's a movie star in today's time because he was there. He knows how they act. So in the movie, Kingo is a Bollywood actor. That's the difference. But they're both actors. So
Asia, it's still Asia.
It's still Asian. They're trying to tap into that, Asian market since China kind of clamped the doors on them. So we find other avenues. What else we got? Circe has changed a little. I mean, looks wise, she pretty much looks the same. She looks exactly what you expect she to look like. Just attitude wise, a little different. Like I said, still, you see her in a costume, you're like, oh yeah, that's Circe. Think about Circe, that her personality a little bit differently. She's more down to earth, kind of chill, that stuff like that. When in the comics, she's kind of like a little flighty, a little flirty. She's like a party girl. Basically, it's like if Kim Kardashian had superpowers.
They were hip. This is the 60s. They were hippies.
Yeah, so you had to have that one. The one. So that was seriously, she's already party and all stuff like that. What else we got here? Athena. Yeah, Athena. So we got Athena. And that's the thing. Like if I was to cast Circe in the 2000s, she'd be played by Angelina Jolie. But we got Angelina Jolie playing Thierny, kind of like a bootleg Wonder Woman, I think. And it's weird because in the comics, she is kind of different because she's in love with the deviants. Like it's a deviant she's in love with, General Crow, which the movie kind of hints at and plays around with, but that's the thing going on with that. So
she likes the bad boys.
Yeah, she liked the bad boys, and he's like, I can change for you. I'll leave. So it's like a Romeo and Juliet type thing with them. They even got kids in the comics, but they can't tell anybody, because
she's like Olivia Munn. She says she's all nerdy and hangs out with the geeks and loves video games, but then goes and bangs Aaron Rodgers and shit.
Right. Then Tree Crew to the DC New Guys, Eternals, Eclipse Comics, Captain Victory, prequels is major story. Yes, that's why he caused Ragnarok, because he was trying to have the new guys become the new gods. That's what good on you, 616 man. That's exactly what happened. So like I said, I think I hit 10 characters, but that's it. So there's 10 characters in this movie. That's a lot of movies. So that's the thing. Now let me just dig into the actual movie, what I think about the movie. Like I said, what I said before, I think this is a DC movie disguised as a Marvel movie. And I think that's one reason why the Rotten Tomatoes scores is the way it is. The director, Chloe Zhao, even came out and said that one of her inspirations for making this movie was Man of Steel, Zack Snyder.
So there's a lot of talking. I'm trying to think what makes it.
Yes. Because
like you have your Zack Snyder shit, and then you have shit like Aquaman and Shazam or Wonder Woman.
It ain't that. It's Snyder. It's Snyder.
It's a Snyder movie, so a lot of talking and
a lot of talking. Very
slow-mo and dark.
There's no slow-mo, but there's not a whole lot of fighting in it. It's not, well, I put it like this, it's not as much fighting as you would expect in a Marvel movie. Because you know how Marvel movies are. Boom, boom. Every scene pretty much ends with a fight
Every
scene.
5 minutes, there's some kind of pizzazz.
Something.
Razzmatazz.
A joke.
The Marvel razzmatazz.
To keep your attention going. Otherwise, you fall asleep in your popcorn, So, but this isn't like that. This is a lot of talking, this movie is kind of like a character.
This is Star Trek.
It's more Star Trek than Star Wars. It really is, A lot of people are debating about philosophical discussions in the movie. What should they do with their power? What shouldn't they do with their power?
Oh yeah,
Long
that
talk
ain't gonna
about
fly over. That's
right. And the thing is, like,
yeah.
right. And when they're talking about these scenes, like they're not undercut with a joke. They're not like, well, what about blah blah waka waka waka? None of that. So when a scene is serious, it ends seriously. Like it's weight to it, like a movie. They don't just undercut it. Just like,
it's
wait,
real cinema.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm not saying I'm not gonna paint myself in the corner.
Just comic fans are in the audience. Punch something.
I could feel that I would have actually liked the movie because his entire fan base turned on social media because he liked the new Batman movie. And they'll be all right. But all of a sudden they like this movie. Hashtag Zack Snyder is the blueprint. What else we got going on with this movie? Main thing because the movie because like I said, the Eternals are basically gods, and the movie treats them like gods. They're not like humans, like Tony Stark, stuff like that. All they do is just talk about what they can do for humanity, what they can't do for humanity, whether they help and whether they're not helping. A lot of talk. But the action scenes when they do show up, I thought were pretty good, better than what I expected. The third act actually bumped the movie up another point for me. Like most of the time in these Marvel movies, when you get to the third act, that's when everything goes to shit. Like, oh, here we go. This one, I think the third act actually stuck the landing. Third act, like, oh, okay, we got some shit going. Especially when their powers just go nuts and stuff like that. Now, I will say this about the Eternals, that their powers actually nerfed from the comics. In the comics, they pretty much all have the same powers. They all can fly. They all can whatever. In this one, they have different skill sets in the turn down. Only Icarus can fly. Only Circe can change matter. Only Makar can use super speed. Where in the comics, they
matter, huh? No shit.
Yeah, in the comics, she can just look at you and just turn you into a frog or whatever the fuck, But in the movies, she actually has to physically touch you to do something. But she doesn't do it to people because it instantly kill them. So she just only does like inorganic objects. So she might touch a tree and turn to water or some shit, But she can't do it from far away.
Like
she
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, but Dr. Manhattan just look at you and just do the shit,
Yeah.
But yeah, so she doesn't do that. Trying to think what else can I talk about this movie. It's like I said, a lot of talky. But I like the philosophical discussion. I didn't feel like the movie was slow. There is a lot of movie in this movie. Like I said, you got 10 characters. You got their boss over them, who's Erisham, the judge, one of the Celestials, and they only show one of them. And they got all this mythology. They got all these side characters in here. You got the deviants. You got the different deviants. You got two ending credit scenes at the end of it, so you just like, it's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. So some people are divided on, like, a lot of people don't like the movie, but they divide on why they don't like the movie. Some people saying the movie's too slow. Some people saying the movie wasn't long enough. Which is it? One or the other.
How long is it?
It's 2 hours and 37 minutes. I think it may be the third longest Marvel movie.
It is pretty long.
I don't know if it beat Infinity War or not, but it's pretty long. And like I said, they jam pack a lot of stuff in there because you get to like an hour and a half into the movie, they're still introducing characters. Like you looking around like, where's this guy? Why hadn't this guy showed up yet? That's in the trailer, Then he finally shows up. Like, damn, okay. So they cram in as much as they can to the movie. Plus, you got flashbacks of what they've been doing all throughout the centuries and stuff like that. And why they don't interfere with Thanos or any other war, any conflict or slavery or any of the shit like that. They don't go there, but it was in the back of my mind, like, why didn't y'all stop slavery? Or any other atrocity, going on some shit, they just throw some throwaway line of why they don't interfere with anything. And you just kind of, okay, you go with it. So my thing is, a lot of people, your opinion is going to view in this movie basically depending on how well you connect with these characters. I connected with these characters fine. I think everybody in this movie stood out on their own. Some people had more screen time than others, but the characters that got low amount of screen time still made an impact. I walked through this movie, I like, okay, this guy with that guy. And some people are saying that, the movie was woke and it's checking every diversity box and stuff like that. Sometimes it's a good thing. All right, they could have made this movie where everybody was a white guy except about 2 or 3 people. And then you be looking around like, okay, which one is which? Which one is which? Go with the Power Ranger, aspect. The Power Rangers are classic. They color-coded everybody by racism, and you know who they are. The Black Ranger's black, the Pink Ranger's a girl, the Yellow Ranger's Asian. That race is probably. You got 2 white guys, but the blue one is the beta male, and the red one is the alpha. Boom,
and the white one was the leader.
And the white one was the leader. So there you go. So you don't have to. So nobody ever watches Power Rangers like, which one is which? No, So the same thing with this movie. And another reason why I think it was a DC movie, because like I said, all the Eternals have different power sets and stuff like that. All of their power sets came from the Justice League. I won't say all of them, but they very much. Icarus is very much Superman. They don't even pretend like he's not Superman. They even call him Superman in the movie. Like one of the people call him Superman in the movie. There's a Batman reference. They have more references to DC comics than Marvel comics in this movie. That's another thing why I think people don't like this movie, because they're like, well, how does it tie into WandaVision or Loki? Like, it doesn't. It doesn't reference any of that shit at all. It's just
Galactus ain't in this? What the fuck?
But people thought Arishem was Galactus, that's the thing. So they just saw some big space monster. Ooh, that's Galactus. Like, it's not Galactus. Arishem has already been in the comics. That's the thing. So none of this ties in to anything you've seen before in the MCU. If you're gonna watch the Eternals, don't have to worry about watching 50 movies and TV shows to prepare for this movie, because none of it's gonna matter. It won't save you. You go in this movie, almost everything in this movie is shit that's never been referenced in the Marvel comics before. I mean, in the MCU before. So it's brand new. Yeah. So I think I hit everything on it. Yeah, I think I hit everything on there. So overall, I'm gonna get my rating 3.5 out of 5. I know I gushed and rated something like that, but 3.5 out of 5 because this movie is divisive, and it's divisive for a good reason. Reason it's divisive is because it changes up the Marvel formula. Some people are gonna like that, some people not gonna like that. It doesn't tie into anything, so if you've been watching other stuff, it's not gonna, reward you for watching other stuff. Some people are gonna connect these characters, some people not. The storyline is a little bit slower pace.
So this doesn't set up Blade, or
it does.
Or it does set up Blade.
Yeah, it does. It does. I just go ahead and spoil it. I spoil it for you, but you won't know it unless you. Okay, I tell you the second credit.
So there's vampires in it.
Not vampires in it. Not vampires in it. I'm gonna tell you what happened, because a lot of people are gonna watch the second end credit scene and not gonna know what the fuck happened. So I'll explain what happened to you. Okay, so Black Knight is at the end of it. Dane Whitman. He's in the movie, stuff like that. So he shows up. He finds Excalibur, which is really the ebony blade. So right before he touches it, there's a voice that says, "Don't touch that." It's a black man's voice. But you're like, who is it? Who is it? And she comes out and says, that was Mahershala Ali saying it. You don't see him. It's just his voice. That's it. So technically, Blade is kind of in it, but not in it. So,
Okay.
yeah, but that's about it. So, but you won't know unless you watch the interview from her. Otherwise, you're gonna say,
Yeah,
"Who's this?"
I was just joking.
Yeah,
I just pulled that out. Like, well, what other Marvel movies coming out?
So yeah, but that's it. So like I said, some big states. Like I said, the third act goes ape shit. There's some big stakes in it. Honestly, other than them fighting Thanos, it's like the biggest shit that any superhero has done before. You're like, man, any more guys? The Eternals ain't enough for this. Where the Avengers at? Where Thor at or some shit like that. Because some big shit does go down in that third act. So yeah.
So like I save the universe again.
Well, that's the thing. That's like it's a philosophical discussion. At the end of the movie, the final bite is whether or not did they save the universe or not. But like I said, I'm not going to spoil it. That's what I like about the movie, because you don't know if they save the universe or not at the end of the movie, really.
What is saving the universe?
Exactly. Are we the hero? Are we the villain? Stuff like that. Existential crisis. That's what I want for my superheroes. That's what
one man's paradise is another man's hell.
And people in the theater just waking up from their popcorn, blow some up. So
kick his ass.
Right.
Fuck
but
up.
Yeah, so that's what I think. So, like I said, if anybody that's not a fan of the MCU, and I'm gonna just say this, just leave it alone. Anybody that's not a fan of the MCU, this movie is not gonna make you a fan. I'm sorry. I know she's an Oscar winner, stuff like that, but it's not gonna turn you around. This is not real cinema and everything else shit. Nah, it's another Marvel movie. Honestly, where I rank it in the Marvel movies, not the middle, maybe slightly higher than the middle. Definitely not at the bottom, like they talking about Rotten Tomatoes, like lower than Thor: The Dark World and all of the Iron Man 3. Hell no, it's nowhere near that. Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, it's better than those. Hell, I rank it better than Black Widow. So yeah, so I don't know what the hell they were talking about, but like I said, everybody's got an opinion. Opinions like assholes, everybody's got one. So Hold up. I think 616 Man got something else on there. Let's see.
Where the fuck is he? Oh, I gotta turn on my comics. I haven't
Mm.
seen anything. Oh yeah,
All
look
right,
at
hang on.
damn, yeah, he's all up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
616 Man. Did you watch it, or are you just guessing like absolutely correctly on everything? You're like, I don't need to see. I know what happened with the movie when it was Zack Snyder movie because the entire fan base turned on him. Yeah, we saw that. Avengers fans were hyped because of Black Knight. Well, here's the thing: there are no Black Knight fans. Sorry, even people that read Avengers, nobody really cares for the Black Knight. Selection marker effects, basically creation of everything, and then plant selection eggs and planet and create superhuman. Some power protect the Earth and get it. Protect the egg from devouring on the Galactus. 616 Man. That's actually half the plot. Actually, very, very close plot. I won't really get into the plot, but that's all what happens. Yeah, Earth is just a big ass egg for a baby celestial. So that's plot. All right. So I think you're up next, Eli. Let's see what we got for you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna give you one because I need some water. I've been talking too much. So I don't know what this is, but I'll let you dig into.
Oh, this is. I guess Marvel is doing a Halloween special next Halloween for Disney Plus.
Okay.
And they cast a Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell. I'm trying to get his name right now. He's a Mexican guy, so he's not white.
Okay, because Jack Russell was always white in the comics, but
yeah, Gael Garcia Bernal is his name. He's a Mexican dude.
I've seen him. I think he was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Maybe. Not sure what he's from. Oh, he was in Transformers. Oh no, maybe he's not. I don't know. Or he did the voice for that. I don't know. Anyways, he's cast as Jack Russell in The Werewolf by Night, but they're also is it Jake Gomez or Lopez, the newer Werewolf by Night, the native Werewolf by Night is also going to be in this.
Interesting. Okay.
Jake Gomez, yeah.
The one that was just created like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, the one that Taboo wrote. So he's going to be in it too. So, yeah. So now that I think about it, both the werewolves are native. Now you think about it, I mean, the Mexicans, they're indigenous, so.
Yeah, so, hey, that's it's your time, Eli.
Yeah. So, sure. Marvel News. I mean, yeah, I like werewolves. We'll see what they do. I'm sure they're not going to be ripping out throats and shit, but, it'll be cool.
They'll cut away from it, It'll happen off screen. Or they'll talk about in a news segment or something like that after, the guy just screams,
Yeah, they'll cut away, yeah.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. So October 2022, when it will air on Disney Plus. So,
it'll probably have like a dance number in this like that. It won't be anything like you expect.
Yeah, I'm a bee.
Or it might. You never know, Eli. Disney Plus might have like a
thriller dance and shit.
No, I'm saying they might have like a Disney After Dark, around the time. And this might be the launch season.
Oh, I watched they had the Lego Star Wars Halloween special, and it was pretty funny. They were making references to all these horror movies and shit, and like the Lost Boys, where like Kylo Ren was like one of the Lost Boys, like he was joining the gang, like the Knights of Ren were like the vampires, and there was like scenes right out of the Lost Boys. It was pretty funny. It was yeah.
Yeah, so what do we got here? Jack Russell will be the mentor for the new Werewolf by Night. I hope he's not just another sidekick. But like you said, they're both, both one's native, one's Hispanic like that. So it's not like, the handsome white guys just got a
I mean they're
both
both family curses, right? Or some shit. I can't remember.
Yeah. So I don't know. All right, this was also you. Let's see, let me get 616 Man out there. Cause I don't know if you can see it. Nope. What do we got? I'm all screwed up. Let's get 616 Man out of here. Not out of here, but
don't go anywhere. We're not leaving.
Yeah, right. Get the fuck out. What can we see? Book of Boba.
Oh yeah, Book of Boba Fett. So yeah, that's the Boba Fett show. Finally dropped the trailer, and I gotta say, it looks dope. It's all gangster shit. It's like fucking Boba Fett. He took over Jabba's palace, and it looks like he's taking over the criminal underworld, and that's what we're seeing. Yeah, and I'm all for it. That's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for the criminal underworld, the scum and villainy in the Star Wars universe. I know The Mandalorian touched upon that. We got to see a little bit of that. But let's get serious. The Mandalorian was still set up for Skywalker shit. Baby Yoda, cloning.
Right, it wasn't even
Luke
Skywalker. It was just it was just like
Ahsoka was in it. Like it was still shoehorned into the Skywalker saga and filling up plot holes that were regarding the shit that was going on with the Skywalkers and the fucking Emperor and all that shit. It was still that shit. And here's Boba Fett doing just crime shit. And that's what I've been waiting for.
My thing is, Mandalorian season 2 was a backdoor pilot of everything. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, it set up a bunch of shows, and like this one. So yeah, this is because they were talking about making the Boba Fett movie. They're talking about getting what's his name? The guy who directed Logan to do it.
Mangold.
Yeah, James Mangold. He was in talks to direct a Boba Fett movie, and maybe that's what this developed into. Just a Boba Fett doing some criminal underworld grimy shit, which is what I've been waiting for. I mean, they've done this shit in the comics and in the books, the extended universe novels and shit. But
in the comics, yeah. I mean, you reviewed them earlier this year.
Yeah, the War of the Bounty Hunters, all that shit. But even like earlier, like Dark Horse was doing just a Boba Fett working for Jabba, just doing fucking, grimy shit for Jabba. So that's what I've been waiting for, to see. So finally, this looks like what it's going to happen. It looks like it's like, some gangster outlaw, Western bounty hunter,
Godfather. I heard a lot of people comparing to the Godfather.
Godfather, Scarface, all those, Untouchables, all that shit. That's what it looked like. So I'm stoked for it.
So
yeah,
cool.
Same here. I've been waiting for a standalone Boba Fett saga without removed from the Skywalker.
Because they have to expand it. I mean, the Skywalker at this point is just like the toothpaste at the bottom of like used toothpaste.
I mean,
you
don't
can't
get
squeeze
me wrong.
that anymore.
Don't get me wrong. It was awesome to see Luke again and to see Luke kick ass. But we should have seen that in the movies. But
right.
but for a show about the Mandalorians, we should have been seeing more crime shit. And it just turned into he's guarding Baby Yoda and navigating that journey about where Baby Yoda goes and how he ties into the rest of the saga and shit. And that's basically what Mandalorian was. It was just, shoehorned into, the old movies. And this looks like it's removed from that. This is like, it's just the criminal underworld, the scum and villainy shit that I've been waiting for. So I'm stoked.
So, and December, right?
December. Yep. Christmas.
So I'm trying to think so do we know what time? Because like I said, we got Hawkeye and we got this. So which one?
Hey, it's Star Wars season again. When Star Wars came back in 2015 during the holidays, that's what that made my Christmas. Having Star Wars shit, new Star Wars shit during Christmas time made the holidays so that much more enjoyable. So that's what I'm stoked for again. Like, cool, we got some Star Wars shit coming out during the holidays, and I'm like, Jack Frost roasting on an open fire, or however the lyrics go.
I thought it was cold outside. You're gonna sing that one because you can't. Because that one, they canceled that one. Yeah. All right, this was also
song.
Is it creepy? Is it weird?
Is that what it was? It's because he's creeping. He didn't have consent to go inside.
Well, no,
it was cold.
I think she was in. Well, no, because I thought she was in his house. She was in his house. So he wouldn't let her leave or some shit.
Oh, yeah, some shit like that. Some consensual,
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, we're too woke nowadays. But this is yours also.
Iconic Clint Eastwood voice. Oh, yes. Okay, so the Navajo Nation, they've been dubbing movies into their language, the Navajo language. They've done it with Star Wars. I think they've done it with a Disney movie. Was it Frozen or Toy Story? Anyways, they're doing it again with a fistful of dollars. Clint Eastwood, Sergio Leone, spaghetti western classic, based on a samurai movie by Akira Kurosawa called Yojimbo. Pretty much the same movie, beat for beat, the same plot. Only one's a samurai, this one's a cowboy. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Them preserving their culture through pop culture, preserving their language through movies. pretty cool. So
subtitles, no subtitles.
I'm sure there'll be subtitles.
You suck.
I don't speak Navajo. I'm not Navajo. I don't know. I don't know any Navajo except Yatahe, which I think means hi.
You know what I'm saying? Like no subtitles. You basically like hard mode. You got to learn that shit.
Yeah, you're fucking hardcore otaku and shit.
Right. Oh shit.
Yatahe, that's all I know.
All right.
So pretty cool. I mean, Fistful of Dollars is, you know, the man, they call it the man with no name, the first movie in the Man with No Name trilogy. A few dollars more, which is my favorite out of those movies. And then of course The Good, the Bad, and the
Ugly. Yeah.
The epic. That one's just too big. It's classic, but my favorite is the second one. Indio. Yeah.
I learned how to whistle from that. I learned how to whistle from that song. I heard I gotta learn how to whistle.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, what do we got next on here? I think we got My Boy? Yeah, let's go,
Your boy?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, computer.
Okay.
My graphics started slowing down, computer started acting up. But where are we at now? Yeah, Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah.
Family. Okay, because he's trying to get the family back together. Let's see, Clint Eastwood, pop culture, old man trying to understand modern times. That's every old man. Yeah, that is a trope. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna see if I can see this because basically Vin Diesel put out a Instagram post the other day, basically directed for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he's trying to get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson back to the Fast and Furious franchise. I guess it's kind of a pseudo apology or something. I don't really know. That is too small for me, so I'm going to read it on my phone. But I'm pretty sure you can see that because the very first part of it was
it is small. They look like they're about to make out.
Oh man. Oh yeah. So let me see. Damn, where? All right, because the first thing I wanted to show you on there, even though it's very small, it was basically talking about how I don't like how Vin Diesel started off the apology, because the first thing he says is to my little brother Dwayne. You already fucked up, man. You already fucked up. He already don't like you anyway. You already called him a little brother. He's not your little brother. He don't like you. He says it repeatedly. He don't like you. He called you a candy ass a bunch of times. You know. So then he's telling you that. So he's trying to basically
take a shoe, turn it sideways,
right, and shove it straight up your ass. You know. So yeah. So
people strudel.
So Vin Diesel already screwed up also because he already got this big ego, basically saying he taught The Rock how to act and telling him what he can and can't do in this movie and taking him more seriously. So yeah, Vin Diesel versus Rock Fast Family Saga. So he's really trying to fast up. Now maybe this is just a publicity stunt that we don't know about. Maybe they've already made it behind the scenes, or maybe it never was beef to begin with, and Rock is going to be in Fast 10, you know. But if not, whatever. Just in the movie. Like I said, I'm one of the biggest Fast and Furious fans you'll find on the internet or anywhere. But I'm ready for the end.
You know the mythology.
I know the myth. I know the lore, you know. Yeah. But they went to space. After that, it's kind of like, what else can you do? You know, I mean, join the Eternals or some shit. I don't know what the fuck.
Time travel.
Yeah, good time travel. Dinosaurs. Alternate dimensions, clones, you know.
Yeah, zombies.
Yeah, something.
Aliens. Fucking, it's endless. Transformers. Yeah,
I
would watch the Fast and Furious.
I think that was a thing at one time. They were trying to get off the ground because they're both Universal. So
yeah, I would totally watch the shit out of that.
I don't know how true that is, but I heard that was a thing they were trying to get off the ground. But yeah.
Like they go back, we got to go back to Robin semis again.
Right.
And then one of them turns out to be Optimus Prime.
One last ride. Now here's the thing about this. Now, one reason I don't think The Rock is coming back to this franchise in it because Rock doesn't need them anymore. Now I know everybody loves the first Fast and Furious movies, and they saying like everything went down at their first movie. Honestly, I thought the first movie sucked. That's just me. It was okay. It was.
How about the tuna? No tuna? That's the best one.
I guess, whatever. It's a Point Break ripoff. Can we admit that? Can we admit it's a Point Break ripoff? That's all it is.
This guy sandwich crazy.
So that's my whole thing about it. It's a Point Break ripoff. It was okay. Then the movies kind of just went downhill from there, even though Tokyo Drift was kind of okay. I kind of liked it, you know. But The movies didn't get good until Dwayne The Rock Johnson showed up. That's when the movies started getting good. From 5, 6, 7, those are the best ones out there because Dwayne The Rock Johnson just brought energy to those movies. Now, before then, had no energy. After that, they waning down a little bit. They still going crazy and nuts like that, but they kind of waning down a little bit. But if The Rock ain't coming back, we don't need any more of these movies. They can let it go. They can just die. Vin Diesel can find something else to do. Doesn't he have another franchise?
Well, don't he have Calvin and Hobbes or whatever it's called?
Oh yeah, and he wants to do that. So why he come back to them when he already got his own Fast Furious franchise? And he just bring all the other people except Vin Diesel over there to them.
And they had robots in that movie.
Yeah, they fought a fucking super soldier in that movie. Yeah, it was basically the plot of Metal Gear in that movie. Yeah, you're right. So that's my whole thing. All right, so last thing we're gonna talk about before we get to the actual comic book section, but we're gonna move on from this, and we're gonna talk about Marvel's The Avengers. All right, Eli, do you want the good news or you want the bad news?
It's all good news to me, man.
You're so optimistic. Let's see what we got with 6'6" man. Fans 1 through 4 versus where's fans? Honestly, that's the thing with 6'6". I don't even remember like the fourth one. I don't even remember that one. I don't even remember the plot to that one. I don't know who's in it. I think Yojimbo was in it. That's about it. So that's what I'm saying. But from when the Rock Vin Diesel, that's the thing. The dumber these movies get, the better they get. That's what I like about it.
Well, they're all kind of dumb.
No, but the dumber, they need to get dumber.
Like, okay, the first few are like straight up comedies to me. You just laugh because they're so dumb, and then the second ones are, entertaining blockbuster action flicks.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but you get really like dumb shit, like they falling out of cars. They falling out of planes and cars and shit. Going into space. Just get dumb with this stuff, man. Don't think about it. Just go. Oh yeah, Marvel's Avengers. I'm trying to evade the subject. Let's start with the good news first. Okay. Now, the one thing that everybody has only cared about the game, the only thing that keep people interested in this game is when is Spider-Man coming out? And we have confirmation. November 30th. November 30th, Spider-Man drops.
Like they're like, did they not know that there was like 2 Spider-Man games already?
Yes, and people don't care. They want him in this game. Like, why when you can play other Spider-Man games and for a fact he won't be as good in this game as he is in other games? But they're like, "Where's Spider-Man?" Fast Furious Flair.
That was hilarious.
It was hilarious, but I still like it. Out of the first 4, that's my favorite.
It goes Tokyo, Japan, like
Tokyo, Minnesota.
not Tokyo, Louisiana.
Right.
Tokyo, Japan. Oh, I get it now.
Oh man, so yeah, but that's the good news about it. So Spider-Man actually comes out November 30th, but the bad news only on PlayStation 4 and 5. So on my PC, on my Xbox, I don't have an Xbox, but I may or may not get one. I don't get to play it, so that's my it. Now, another bad news about it. Honestly, I think once they put Spider-Man out, I think they're done. I think it's over this game. I don't think they're gonna do anything else with this game. They're gonna move on to something else. Maybe crank out another Tomb Raider or some shit. Another Final Fantasy and just
isn't this bombing? Like, why do they keep doing this shit?
Oh, they're bombing hard. That's the bad news I was going to talk about because doing the quarterly reports, the CEO of Square Enix said this game was a disappointment, like to the shareholders. So that should tell you right there, this game is in trouble, or just dead. Not even trouble, just dead. Marvel game fans sound like they want to upgrade it Ultimate Alliance reboot with all Marvel characters. They have that. It's on the Switch. They have it. It came out last year, But here's my thing. As far as how I feel about this game, it's one of my favorite comic book video games out there. I think it's one of the best ones. Now, not like you got Arkham, you got Spider-Man. I think it's that tier down there. I think the next tier, in that range. Marvel's Capcom, Injustice, that range right there. Because it gives you what you want. Like everybody plays differently. You got Hulk hulking around. You got Thor throwing mole year. Hell, you got a whole Black Panther DLC 2-hour campaign mode. I mean, what else do you want? People still complaining. They give you Spider-Man. People still complaining. I think at this point, people don't even know what they're complaining about. They just like, fuck this game. So I don't know. I'm still going to play it regardless of what happens. Like I said, everything is subjective. Just like Eternals. We're talking about Eternals. Some people like it, some people don't. This game, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So move on. I guess we can move on to the comic part now.
I guess.
Move past that.
Yeah. Is that it? We got through everything? Wow. Okay. Well, good.
I mean, we're making good time. Okay. Like I said, like this comic book bullies, where we talk about the comic books, and we're gonna jump into it. And Eli, you have a load, so I'm gonna let you go first.
I do. Should I start out with Superman 78?
Sure.
Yeah. So Superman 78, number 3, an ode to Richard Donner Superman movies, the Donnerverse. Is that what that's called? The Donner cut?
Yeah, the Donnerverse, Donner cut. Yeah.
Yeah. So Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Gene Hackman, that era of Superman. This story has Brainiac coming down to Metropolis, threatening to shrink it unless Superman surrenders, to which he does. He surrenders to Brainiac. Brainiac takes him up to his ship, shrinks him down into Kandor. He goes to Kandor. He finds his mom and dad.
Wait, I think dead. Okay.
No, because not according to this. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Superman fan.
I mean, we saw the planet blow up, but
this is the Donnerverse. So
we saw
I don't know.
Up in the whatever. Okay.
I don't know. Right. They're still alive in Kandor. So he meets his mom and dad in Kandor, and they're like, this is your home. You're back home now. This is where you're meant to be. You're going to learn science, blah, blah, blah. He has a conversation with them. He's walking around Metropolis, Krypton. He's never been there before. So, yeah, he has a reunion with his parents. It's kind of poignant. Meanwhile, back down on Earth, Lois Lane gets kidnapped, and she wakes up in Lex Luthor's lair. And she's like, I am the greatest criminal mind of our time, and I know how to get back Superman. So, to be continued, as in Lex Luthor, Superman savior. So
nice. Okay.
So yeah, it's fun. Like I said, if you're a fan of the Donnerverse, you're a fan of those old movies, which yes, they're fun, fluffy fun. That's what this is. So
my thing is, I got to be completely honest about it. I don't like the continuity changes they're doing. That's all. I know I shouldn't be bothered with that. That shit bothers me. I'm just saying.
How the fuck? No, I don't know. I don't know. I thought it blew up, and I'm like, hey, they're back. Whatever. Okay. Maybe Brainiac got down there as Clark's fucking thing was floating by or something. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm maybe thinking too much about it. I really shouldn't be putting that much thought into it, but
or maybe he went back in time. Who knows?
Yeah,
that's what I'll say. Probably you got the Infinity Gauntlet, the Time Stone. It went back.
Yeah, let's fix their plot holes. Let's do that. It's like Brainiac is fooling Donnerverse Superman with fake robot parents.
Or that could be it. Who knows?
Maybe that's actually genius.
Yeah,
I guarantee you that's not what happened.
Or they are just projections of the fucking.
I mean, that would be genius. Yeah, but I guarantee you that's not what happened. They did. I bet you the people that write this book, if they heard that plot, they'd be like, "Damn, why didn't you think of that?" No, just so.
So 4 out of 5. I'm liking it. I'm digging it. No, it's fun.
Okay. All right. So my book I got, like I said, I only got 2 books. So I'm gonna make it count the best I can. This book I had to review. This is Rocket and Icon. Like I said, we're doing more milestones.
That came out this week.
Yep.
Oh shit.
I gotta review them because DC Universe gave them to me for free. So I'm definitely gonna review them.
Oh well, I guess I'm getting it spoiled. So good.
Okay. Yeah. This is what some shit goes down in this book. Let me see if I can show you the cover of it because the cover of it is kind of interesting. It's add to stream. Boom, there you go. Okay, so it's the cover of Icon, like with his hands up, and then Rocket, throwing the middle finger. It's almost like an exact replica of Boondocks.
Oh yeah.
Which Reggie Hudlin wrote this book and also had a hand in the Boondocks, animated series. So I'm almost guaranteed that is direct reference to Boondocks. That's just me. Anyway, moving on past that.
I didn't see this shit.
Yeah, so
I would have got it if I would have.
Yeah, so some shit goes down. So let's just go to it, see what happens. Okay, so last time we left off, that creepy ass roach alien that was that Amazon black chick came around and was fucking them up, and he's going to kill Raquel's mom. Rocket's mom. Right before it happens, that's when the Amazon chick grabs her sword shoots a beam out or something, and then chops his head off,
Damn.
Yeah, so his head's gone, and she's like, you could have hit her. She's like, that buys us a little bit of time. So she jumps out the window and boom, lands on the ground. And that's when Icon shows up, and they're just like, okay, go rescue your mom. And now your mom's safe, go make sure she's safe. I go handle this roach monster or whatever, And his head grows back, And they're like, oh, what the fuck, and basically asking like, Rocket, like, do you know that Amazon chick down there? You're like, nah, Like, no. Okay. Well, anyway, take care of your mom. I'll fight this monster. And so they go down there and they fight, and and let's cut to the end. Yeah. So you don't pass it. Oh yeah. Rocket. I like this part right here. Rocket yeets him in the nuts, kicks him across the stage, and then Icon goes chasing after him, throws him to another building, and then he tries to rescue other people. Oh, this is a little Easter egg I don't think anybody ever caught. The book he's reading is the Black Freighter, Curse of the Black Freighter.
Oh, from Watchmen.
From Watchmen. You're like, okay, that's odd, but okay, doesn't matter. So, and this part right here makes no sense whatsoever. So they cut in, but I like this part. So they cut to a scene in a barbershop where they're fighting outside the barbershop. One dude was like, man, somebody's out there fighting, man. What's going on? He's like, no, never mind. Don't dodge the question. Who's the best athlete of all time? Michael Jordan and LeBron James. I'm like, what the fuck do you got to do with the story? It don't matter. They argue for it the whole panel. Somebody start bringing up, nah, Deion Sanders is a better athlete. Nah, Serena Williams is a better athlete. Like, and he like, nah, y'all quit arguing. There's really some shit going on the outside of it, So they go back to it, and yeah, then all of a sudden the Icon and them like destroy the entrance of the barbershop. And one of the people in the barbershop like, I know you had roaches, but not this bad. I'm leaving, and then the roach monster like blasts Icon in the face. Icon heat visions the monster, but the monster ended up getting away. And Rocket tells her like, man, why don't y'all? And she talking to the people in the neighborhood. Why don't y'all do something about this monster? He was like, man, we ain't go through the Big Bang. We ain't got no superpowers. He's like, y'all don't need no superpowers. Y'all know what to do. And then the Amazon black chicks is like, what are you doing? What you doing with the finger guns? Like, you know what I mean with the finger guns. Like, okay, let's do it. So they just start shooting. They just pull out guns out of their pocket and start shooting at the roach monster and shit like that. But while they doing that, they aim ain't worth a damn. So they actually start shooting at everything. They barely even hit the monsters. They shooting at bystanders, almost hit a baby. But it turns out that the Amazon chick also has telekinetic powers, so she stopped everybody from getting killed. So she was like, look, since y'all suck at aiming, just shoot me. I'm like, what? Yeah, just shoot me. So they shoot him, shoot Rocket, light her up, and she got kinetic powers and shit like this. So now that she's full, she gets ready to yeet the roach monster again, but he takes off. It's like, damn. All right. So, and then Icon has just got his ass beat by him. Half his face messed up, like his alien side is really showing. And Rocky's just like, who was that guy? He was like, okay, so who that guy was actually an alien I met like 100 years ago, and he's a shapeshifter. But we call him the Manhunter from Mars. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. So Milestone is playing around with the DC universe in here. But anyway, so the Amazon chick just flies off, and they go rescue Rocket's mom, and she's got like 1,000 questions for Icon, but they hide her until they can find out what to do next. And this part is messed up also. So an hour later, the police finally show up, but they don't rescue anybody except the landlord. And the landlord said, look, all y'all evicted. You're like, why are you evicted us? We had nothing to do with this. I don't care. Yeah. So yeah, as a matter of fact, they put an APB out on Icon because they blaming him for destroying the neighborhood. And yeah, so the government, we're just gonna cut to the end. The government says the Martian Manhunter, whatever like that, couldn't get the job done, but that's okay. We got another team gonna take him out. So you got some other people getting ready to kill Icon, and that's the book. So it was pretty fun, just action, fun stuff. It was a fun book. I like it. So yeah, like I said, as far as what we're getting from Milestone, Icon is far and away the best book they have right now. So yeah, but like I said, it's only one like personally written by Reggie Hudlin. So all right. So what you got?
So Batman Reptilian number 5.
Okay, I think this is the last one, right?
No, there's one more.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was I thought it was the last one too. No, there is a one more after this, the conclusion. So this is Garth Ennis with Liam Sharp, and it's Batman is searching for something. There's a monster going around killing all of Batman's villains, and it's some lizard monster that turns out Killer Croc. He has some sort of DNA in his evolutionary cycle of his life. He gave birth to this thing. So Killer Croc is his mom. So basically the monster is trying to reunite with its parent, with Killer Croc. And then so that's where we pick up here. They're trying to escape. This thing's after them. Batman and Killer Croc are running through the sewers while this thing is chasing them, and they're having a conversation. Basically, Batman's, exposition dump talking about his DNA, and, some lizards are trying to, spontaneously reproduce like he did, and some of their young will try to eat their mother.
Wow. Okay.
So that's why they think that this thing is trying to do. He's trying to eat its parent. So that's what they're doing. Batman basically goes, you know what? I got an idea. I'm gonna take care of this. And at the end of the book, he dives into the monster's mouth.
Well, that's not very smart.
Yeah, and that's what it says, to be continued.
Okay. Well, obviously, Batman's not gonna die. So
yeah. So he's got a plan. He's got something in his utility belt. He prepared for this. So, yeah. And yeah, it just shows
baby Croc spray or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It shows, Alfred watching on the monitor, Bruce, and then to be concluded. So again, it's a fun Garth Ennis, sarcastic, dark humor mixed with horror and shit. It's fun. 4 out of 5. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes. 616 Man. That's what they determined last issue, that Killer Croc is asexual, that he is, he can be both sexes, like life finds a way, like in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Is asexual the right term? I guess. I don't know. We'll go with it.
Something that he's able to reproduce.
Yeah. So I guess it is asexual reproduction.
Yes. Like seahorses can do that.
Starfish,
some frogs, some other species can do that, and this thing is after it's basically looking for nutrients and trying to feed and going after its mom or parent, whatever. I'm not going to assume genders.
Exactly. All right. Like I said, we've been talking about Eternals, all stuff like that, and everybody most people have read Neil Gaiman's run. But since I didn't really have many books to read, I decided to go ahead and review Jack Kirby's old run of Eternals #2. Hold on, we got the Reptilian reproduce like that. Yeah, some reptiles reproduce like that. Yeah, chameleons, I think. Maybe lizards. Some lizards. Maybe.
Oh wow, like you've been commenting?
I did by accident. I was trying to type it in, but I commented by accident. So I'll delete that later on. But yeah. Yeah, but like I said, we're gonna review Eternals #2, just the old Jack Kirby shit, like back in the day, basically just give us an idea of what the Eternals is. I'm trying to see if I remember everything that happened in this book, because like I said, these old books, they cram like a ton of shit in here, but then we'll just go with it. And even on there, it says, even better than Chariots of the Gods, which he's talking about that book we just talked about earlier. So anyway, they're in an Incan temple, and a shadow goes over the entire land. And what is the shadow? It is the spaceship of the space gods, the Celestials. So it shows what it looks like. And if you see it, it actually has an Incan design on it itself, which means that they influence the Incan culture just for coming here, because they're gods, So like I said, so the main deviant, General Crow, who's also in the movie, they briefly mention him, but he's Crow, and he's upset seeing the space gods again. Look, we're ready for you. We've seen you 1,000 years. We're gonna kill you. You think you got it? We're gonna send you packing back at space gods. So lightning strikes his feet. They were like, quit saying this dumb shit. You pissing off the guys. I don't care what they are. I'm right out here. Screw the guys. And then runs. We know what he really said, because basically what's going on is that we'll come back to it later on what happened with it. But anyway, the temple is getting destroyed. They run out of there and they run to the very end of it. And they get to the bottom of it and they find out exactly what happened with, like, why the deviants hate the space gods so much. The reason they hate the space gods is because way back in ancient times, the deviants took over the world. They took over everything. They enslaved humanity. Everything was them. And they was all about reproducing, debauchery, all the stuff like that. Technology. They enslaved humanity. So when the space guys came back to check on to see what they did after they, created everything, the deviants attacked them thinking they would come and attack them. Space guys didn't like that. So they nuked them. Thousands of years before the nuke was even born. The nuke was so powerful, it bounced from continent to continent, destroying everything, flooded the entire world. That's where the Great Flood came from. So, and the Eternals didn't do anything to stop it. They just let the world be what it is. But Icarus flew down to see exactly what's going on. And lo and behold, he saw a giant ark floating by. So he decided to help the ark by showing them where to come to, for a mountaintop. So that's when the people, the guys with them, travel guys with them, like, wait, you met Noah? You're like, yeah, Noah's cool. Big beard, cool guy.
The raincoat and shit.
Right. So he was like, so there's only one way. So the space guys are coming, but I can't understand anything they're saying. But there is one person that could understand them, and it was an Incan god. These call him Tuca. What do they call him? I'm screwing up. Tuca.
Is it an Aztec? What is it?
It's Incan, but I tried to Google it, and I don't think it's a thing. I think it's just some shit Jack Kirby just made up. But anyway,
because I know some for like some of them South American tribes, like Incans and Aztecs.
Okay.
You're not supposed to say their names. That's what I hear. Some of their gods, you're not supposed to say. Well, fuck,
Eli, you should have told me that.
Yeah.
But let me. All right, let me see, because I think I can. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna see if you can name. Yeah. Tekumatstin.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't know, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but yeah.
Okay. And if you did know, you don't have to say it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want you all of a sudden you get struck by lightning in the middle of the podcast. I don't want that to happen. So
yeah, or we get canceled by South America.
Right. But anyway, he's gonna resurrect this Incan god. This Incan god has actually been holed up in this place since then. So he knows how to unlock it, and and so he does something, reanimates him or whatever like that, and he forms himself, and it turns out it is Ajax. Ajax was the Incan god the entire time there.
I can totally see just Kirby just totally having fun drawing this shit.
Yeah, all this Kirby shit, the light, they call it the Kirby crackle, all the stuff like that. So that's his thing. So he resurrected Ajax. Ajax was the Incan god because he was there when the space gods were there originally. And since when they left, he stayed there, and they just worshipped him as a god, just gave him a name, So he's like, Ajax, you know me, I've been here the whole time. He's like, oh, so you're the Incan god? Yeah, it's me.
Well, here's indoor plumbing for your people.
Right. Exactly. Oh man. So, and it turns out not only resurrected Ajax, but he resurrected all these other cultures from other races and stuff like that. And they're helping out, speak to the space god also. So they go into this room. And basically, the guys is like, "Oh, this must be just ground control." Basically, they're setting up weapons, setting up equipment to talk to the space guys, because Ajax is the only one who can talk to them. He's the only one that can understand them. He basically is the only one they like, So they get ready to talk to him, and all of a sudden, one of the space guys comes down, and it is Erisham. Erisham, the leader of the fourth horde and fourth host. Sorry about that. And Erisham is like the main celestial we meet in the movie, also. So basically, he's there. And his judgment. And what is he doing? So he is here, and he's going to be here for the next 50 years. And he's going to decide whether or not humanity needs to be judged. If he thinks...
How did the Celestials look in the movie?
They look like that. Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, they look pretty good. I'll be honest with you, Eli. Okay, that's another thing I was going to say about it. There's a jump scare in the movie. It's not large Mars level.
Not large Mars.
It's not large Mars level, but you're chilling, you're relaxing. And I promise, it wasn't just me, because everybody in the movie, they're like, well, when Erisham shows up, And everybody's like, oh shit, holy fuck, when he just shows up, But it was like that. So they actually pretty good,
Cool.
Let's see. Kirby's obsession with ancient mythology, same very mind-bending stuff. Like, you gotta remember this back in the 60s, the 70s, stuff like that. This was mind-bending at the time. Now it might become a little bit outdated, that
Yeah. There is no God. There were just aliens.
right. So yeah, but they did look pretty good in there. So like I said, old Kirby shit. All that first run of Eternals was shit like this, where they reference, biblical stuff or historical stuff, and it turns out the Eternal was there the whole time doing stuff, influencing stuff. So, when he got away from the run, all Marvel wanted to do was just how can we work this in the Marvel canon, and that's all they care about. They didn't care about all the stuff Kirby's doing. They just went, how can we make them Avengers, and that's why nobody gave a shit about the Eternals after that. So, yep, overall, pretty good book. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, the Kirby art is an acquired taste. If you're into it, it's a fun read. His writing is an acquired taste because he said, "Have at you," shit like that. Behold, and I will hasten. Shit like that. You like some of it, you just got to get used to. When you get a rhythm of what Kirby is giving you, it's cool, but you got to be in a mind frame to take it in. So that's all I got. So, what you got from there?
Just my indies I got left.
Cool.
Let's see. I guess we'll do Two Moons, number 6.
All right.
Now, I just announcement, shameless plug. I recently started writing for a website called A Tribe Called Geek. It's a native nerd website similar to Outright Geekery, where they just cover nerdy news and tie it to indigenous culture, indigenous nerds writing about pop culture, comic book reviews, movie reviews, all that shit that we do on here. And I did a review on the volume 1 of Two Moons, the graphic novel. I've been reviewing it on here too, but I decided for the website I wrote a review for the volume 1, the graphic novel, the first trade. So that's on there if you want to check it out. A tribecalledgeek.com. There's some more of my articles up there that have been posted. But so this is the new arc, Two Moons, number 6. It's the new story arc. It basically Two Moons is it's that horror book about the Civil War, this native soldier in the fighting for the North. He can see demons disguised as humans and he fights them. So it's a horror book. Yeah, pretty cool. Monsters, violence, blood. And, as a horror book, it's fine. I do critique the native element. I mean, he can be anybody. There's no real insight into his cultural background other than he's just native, but he could have been anybody, and it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have changed the story at all. So his indigenous identity is more of a novelty than really a plot point. There is those elements of shamanism and the stereotypical, mysticism and new age,
So is there a native creative team on this book?
No.
Figures. Okay.
Yeah. It's a non-native writer, writing a native story, and you get the stereotypical, shamanism and new age mysticism that always comes when you have that non-natives writing about natives. But still, it works as a horror book. It's a perfectly serviceable horror book, and that's why I'm still on it. So this is the new story arc. There's a time jump. It jumps ahead like 20 years. So the first arc was during the Civil War. This jumps ahead 20 years. And basically, Virgil, or Two Moons, the main character, he's got a fellow native who's been shot. He's been shot by, bounty hunters that are basically keeping natives or going after natives who leave the reservation because they could be legally shot if they left the reservation. That's how.
So it's like in Naruto with the Ninja Clan. If you leave the Ninja Clan, they gotta.
I guess I never watched Naruto.
You just remind me of that.
But yeah, I mean, like natives were outlawed. You could kill them on sight and collect their scalps, which were called Redskins.
Mm-hmm. Now called the National Washington Football Team. Okay.
Yeah, that's how you got paid for killing a native, is you brought in their scalp, and there was a proof of their kill. So this is referring to back then, and I think they're referring to the ghost dance in this in this book. But basically, so yeah, he's on the run from these bounty hunters. He meets the nurse. What was her name? Florence. She was the nurse in the previous arc, and she kind of holds them up in their barn and fixes his wound. And then the bounty hunters show up, and Two Moons has some I wasn't sure. Can he control a wolf? Because a wolf comes out and chases the bounty hunters away. And I couldn't tell if he turned into a wolf or he had control over wolves. Like he can control animals. So a new power. He has
like that kid on Game of Thrones. The one episode I did see.
You're talking about Bran, who can go into minds of things, and control. Yeah, they fucked that. He could have did so much cool shit. I don't know why he didn't take over a fucking dragon and just fucking don't get me started. Yeah, like I said, I look past. I came out the door knowing all the stereotypical shit. So it's like, that's how we do it. That's how we deal with it. It's always there. It's constant. So I look past it. Okay. How is the story? How is it? Like I said, as a horror book, it's fine. As a native book, yeah. But I turn that shit off because that's just how you just gotta. I ain't got the energy to bitch about everything.
That's the when you're a person of color reading this nerd shit, some shit you just gotta just turn your brain off to, or just turn the blinds out to. Otherwise, you can't be into it, at all. So
if I was outraged over every little microaggression, I would not smile at all.
And the thing is, that's the reason why a lot of people of color can't get into this shit, because they see this shit. Some people can turn their blind eye to it. Some can't. Some people just look at this shit like, no, I can't do it. Yeah.
So that's what's going on here. He has some new powers. And like I said, they're referring, like I said, the first book was about the Civil War. This one, I think, is later on where we're dealing with the native exile, where the West was starting to be colonized more. This is the late 1800s now. So a lot of more of the Indian wars that were going on are starting to, basically the U.S. were starting to, expand and lay claim to the territory that would now be colonized the United States. So we're seeing a lot of that. I think they're referring to the Ghost Dance. Now the Ghost Dance was 1870s, 1880s, where it was like natives had a vision that if they were to dance, that they would bring back their old way of life. And it spread throughout all these tribes across the U.S. All these tribes on reservations decided to do these dances, these round dances. And it was like a protest, in hopes of bringing back their way of life because they were being wiped out. Of course, once, the cavalry heard of this thing called the Ghost Dance, it freaked them out. So that's what led to massacres of Wounded Knee and Sand Creek and stuff. This is where, we're going into that.
So is this real?
This is real.
Okay.
This is what really happened. So this book is making references to his history. So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. This book does bring up, like I said, the first book was about the Civil War, and using the indigenous character, it does bring up the theme of native genocide and colonization, which is, sure, it works for that story, and this continues in this story arc. So we're seeing America's past coming to haunt them, because there's this one scene where the bounty hunters get attacked by ghosts, so it's got that native burial ground, the Indian burial ground trope sort of idea lying underneath it. The Indian burial ground trope where, yes, the house is built on an Indian burial ground and it's being haunted by ghosts and, disturbing the peace of the white folks who moved there.
Wow.
That's basically, and it's in a lot of movies. It's in The Shining,
Amityville,
Pet Cemetery, Poltergeist, Scalps.
Cosby Show had an episode of one time, but
yeah. I mean, it's It's a common trope, and that's like the only thing. And we talked about when I was doing the Geek Savs, we talked about this a lot about how natives never being in horror movies. And Fat T, shout out to Fat T, he brought this up. He's like, you know why? Because we were the natives were the monsters. Indigenous were the original boogeymen of the United States. We were the monsters. So so the Indian burial ground trope just brings up that the ideas of white guilt, it's almost a form of another, it's like almost like a second colonization when I think about it. It's like, okay, you wiped out the Indians, you built your suburban houses on their land, and now they're haunted. And you need to get rid of the ghosts so you can live in peace again. You got to win the West again. So your house is nice and livable again. And, comfortable for white comfort. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this sort of brings up. Now I'm thinking about it. He's using the writer's using the indigenous identity to bring up America's past atrocities to indigenous people, which is fine. It's just if this was in a native writer's hand, there'd probably be a lot more insight to it. But
Poltergeist, you're right. Poltergeist,
yeah, Poltergeist, Pet Cemetery, It, they had it in It, the new Stephen King's It movie had native shit in there too. Scalps.
Is it in the original book?
They're in the original book. There's there's some native stuff in the original book too. Stephen King just had that in there a lot. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, as a native story, it's okay. As a horror book, it's fine. 3 out of 5. I'm not sure if he's turning into a werewolf. It's kind of cool, but also kind of stereotypical because natives that's like a native power shape-shifting. It's
like in Twilight. Was it Twilight?
Yeah, where they turn into werewolves. But that's like a thing. That's like a native power shape-shifting. I don't know if you watch Reservation Dogs. When they're playing I Want to Be Your Dog, the DJ on the radio is playing the song I Want to Be Your Dog by the Stooges, and he's like, oh, here's I Want to Be Your Dog. Sounds like a shape-shifting song. And he made that joke, So yeah. It's like I said, it's fine. I can see and I'm sure there's some natives who would read this and say fuck this shit, and I totally get it. But like I said, I'm turning my brain off, just it's a native in a comic book kicking ass. And sometimes that's all we want.
Yeah. I mean, got to crawl before you walk, I guess. So I mean, at least you got a character. So maybe somebody will take that character and eventually do something.
Yeah, skinwalkers, that term gets thrown around too loosely. And from what I've understood, skinwalkers are like witches, but they get thrown into they're werewolves too. So native culture has just been so homogenized and ripped apart and misused and all that shit. So yeah. I guess the last book I'll do will be Orphan and the 5 Beasts.
Orphan and the 5 Beasts. Okay.
James Stokos.
Now, I've never heard you talk about this book, but I think it's on issue 3 or something.
No, this is that kung fu book with thunder thighs and shit.
Oh, it must have been a while since it came out.
Yeah, it's been a while since the last issue. So this is issue number 3. Well, it's James Stokey or Stoko or however you say his name, and he's writing, drawing, inking, everything. I mean, his shit is just so detailed. Oh shit! I should get off the guided view.
I do this sometimes myself.
Yeah, I mean, where's a good, cool ass panel? But he's super detailed. He gets really detailed. So I can see him really taking a while if he's doing everything himself.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
The detail on that shit. But basically it's 5 deadly venoms. The student by the request of her former master is basically been told to go find these other former students that learn kung fu from her master that are using it for criminal purposes. So she's going around finding all these ex-students who are now outlaws and bandits and shit, and she's fighting them. So that's basically what's going on. Last one she fought Thunder Thighs, the guy who could, with the big giant legs, who can like crush anything. And in this one,
wait, Thunder Thighs is a dude?
It was a dude who crushed
the
that
whole
horse.
time I'm thinking it's, you know, a chick, you know,
No,
like Megan Thee Stallion or some shit, you know.
And he like crushed a horse. He was riding a horse and like squeezed a horse and it exploded and shit.
Okay, that is not what I had pictured in my mind, but okay.
And this one, what is this guy called? The Chopper Tang. So this guy's a chef or a butcher, and he's running a restaurant, and everyone loves this guy's food, and his secret is the meat. So you know where I'm going with this,
right? I already know where you're going.
But there's a twist. You know, is he feeding? Is it human flesh? Yes, he's feeding them human flesh. Is it the people he's killing? No, he is feeding them his own flesh. He's cutting pieces of himself off and feeding them to everybody. And everyone's like fiending off it. It turns out this guy has some sort of like weird, like, some weird healing ability where he heals himself, and it turns the people into like zombies shit.
So he controls them if they eat him.
Yeah. So, and his flesh comes back. So yeah, and this shows that like his arms, all his arms that he's cut off himself are now like flying around and shit.
What the hell?
Yeah, and that's to be continued. So that's where it ends. And I'm loving this book. This book is the shit. It's really gory. Like the art is crazy, super detailed, and it's like kung fu meets like a Tarantino grindhouse horror shit.
Now, who's the publisher of this book?
This is Dark Horse.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is fuck it. I'll give it a 5 out of 5 just because it's crazy.
You know what? I'm not even gonna blame you for it. It's just the shit you just showed me right there. I'm not even gonna argue with it. Like, yep, that's okay.
Yeah, because where was that? I'm sure I saved that last time because she fought Thunder Thighs in the last issue. Yeah, right. Like that dude. Yeah, this guy with the big giant legs and shit.
Wow.
That's from the last issue.
Okay.
And he's just, right here where he's riding. Yeah, he's like crushing people, like
with his thighs.
With his thighs.
My mind the whole time thinking you're talking about a chick the whole time.
Nope. Yeah, he specialized in kicking and kneeing and shit. It's yeah. Yes, it feels very grindhouse. So like a kung fu flick. It's basically the plot of 5 Deadly Venoms mixed with a horror grindhouse cheesy B movie horror. So yeah, so I'm digging it.
Cool.
And that's all I got.
Well, that's all I got. Like I said, it was light week for me. I'll come back to new stuff. For those who don't know that have been listening to the podcast, I'll just tell you that some good news happened. I am finally back in my apartment. For those who don't know, for like the last 5-6 weeks or some shit like that, I haven't been here. I come here just to record a podcast and I have to leave out of here. So no more of that. Now I'm getting back settled in. So yeah.
How far is like your place from where you had to go? Like how?
40 minutes. Something like that.
Oh wow, is that far? Damn.
Yeah, another town. Yeah. So that's good. I just go there and then come back. But either way, I'm getting more acclimated back in my place again. I'm moving all my stuff back how it was before, getting more comfortable. So yeah, just get to relax. Like I get to sleep in tomorrow. That's a first. Normally I have to edit this podcast and then be out of here before it's even uploaded. But now I can sit there and relax. So yeah. So shout out to my boss because he caught me one time where I did a shitty job uploading one time. He was like, man, like half the episode was cut off. Like, so appreciate him for giving me that constructive criticism. So yeah, but we'll come back next week and give you some more stuff. Don't know what's gonna happen. Probably talk about the Spider-Man trailer because I have a feeling it's gonna drop tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
I have a feeling. We'll see. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bully time, same bully